So I'm Omar Brownell, and I thank you for joining us here today. We'd like to get our program started, so I ask that you all rise so that we can have a performance by our cast technicians ensemble of Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Good morning again. I'm Omar Brownell. I am the Senior Director for the Center for Multicultural Initiatives here at Oakland University. And I consider it an honor to serve again as this year's MC for the 32nd Annual Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Service. Yes. Now I know it's cold outside, but we're gonna try to warm your heart up in here today by talking about some well-deserving students who are exemplifying education as a standard. They live and value principles in life, and so we should feel thrilled to hear about their contributions, not only to Oakland University, but what they give back to their communities. Now, I know somebody else may have been up late last night. I know I was up past my bedtime because we had a little event going on in the city of Detroit. Yes. Yeah. And after 32 years, long years, we got the dub. Yes. And so not only 32 years for the Lions, but here we are 32 years for the Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Award celebration. So we are thrilled to gather here today to demonstrate our advocacy for Dr. King's undying dream of equality and interracial understanding. As we have for decades, the university continues to expand and enhance efforts to maintain a welcoming, inclusive, and culturally diverse campus. We also remain dedicated to engaging students, faculty, and staff of all walks of life in learning and enrichment activities that support their academic and professional success. For more than 3 decades now, this celebration has recognized students who have excelled in their studies, engaged with others on and off campus, and importantly, demonstrated strong leadership skills that have helped unite a diverse campus community. We will continue this tradition of acknowledgement and celebration today by presenting 7 deserving honorees with the Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Award. The recipients are fostering positive change, and you will have a chance to hear more about their work later in the program. At this time, I'd like to welcome to the stage someone who has been a tremendous supporter of ours here at Oakland University in creating an inclusive campus environment. Please join me in welcoming our president, Dr. Orahurst Peskovitz.
Thank you so much, Omar. And welcome members of the Oakland University community, our students, our faculty, staff, and so many of our dear friends. Congratulations to 7 remarkable students who are recipients of the 32nd Annual Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Awards, and who, as Omar has just told you, you will hear about in just a few minutes. And I would like to extend a special note of appreciation to our keynote speaker, Lonnie Love. Lonnie, we're so excited that you've agreed to be with us here today. And I also want to be especially grateful to our wonderful sponsors whose generosity supports the annual Keeper of the Dream and whose ongoing friendship with us at our university is so central to serving our students and our communities. A very special thank you to our program sponsors, Oakland University Credit Union and Corewell Health. Let's give those two special sponsors a round of applause. Thank you also to our benefactor sponsors, Magna and PNC Bank. Thank you to our High Achievement Scholarship sponsors, Comerica and Whirlpool. And thank you to our scholarship sponsors, Lynn and Leah McIntosh, Lynn A. McIntosh Memorial, Marshall Family Scholar Foundation, OU Alumni Association, and the OU Black Alumni Chapter. Please give a round of applause now to all of our sponsors. Thank you. You know, we are gathering here today and annually to both celebrate and to testify that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream is alive and continues to be a profound source of inspiration. In honoring Dr. King's dream of an American society built on the pillars of diversity, social justice, opportunity, and progress, we celebrate and honor those who worked tirelessly for a more just and inclusive world, those who will not give up their seat on the bus, those who stand up against racism, sexism, and discrimination based on religion, ethnicity, country of origin, gender, or any other form of injustice or exploitation. Today, we also honor 7 Oakland University students who have the courage to act based on their convictions and who make all of us so very proud. These 7 students, and also the past recipients of the Keeper of the Dream Awards, are outstanding examples of the keepers of the dream. The stark reality, however, is that it's not enough to be a keeper of the dream. In today's world, every single one of us must ask, what are we doing to fulfill Dr. King's dream? Are each of us doing what we can in our homes, in our work, at our university, and in our communities to decrease discrimination and to maximize inclusion and equity? You know, I have been asking myself these very questions for a very long time. As a child, I was really fortunate because I had a front row seat to the civil rights movement. My father spent his life as an outspoken civil rights advocate. He was friends with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and my father invited Dr. King to use his Washington, D.C. office whenever he was in town. Did you know that it was in my father's office on Massachusetts Avenue that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 were drafted? And you know, I have vivid memories of accompanying my parents when I was a young child in August of 1963, when we sat together on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial to hear Dr. King's stirring "I Have a Dream" speech. I also recall being a young child and being very frightened when my father left home to march in Selma, Alabama, because others had already been killed when he left for that march. And they were marching for the right to vote. And I also recall my father's very powerful eulogy in Washington, D.C. for Dr. Martin Luther King after he had been assassinated. Dr. King dreamed that one day his children would live in a nation where they would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And so that makes me wonder what he would think if he were here today. How much of his dream would he think we have fulfilled? At Oakland University, we aim to judge everyone by the content of their character, and we embrace a definition of diversity that is inclusive and not divisive, a definition that binds us closer to one another, a definition of diversity that includes people of different races, socioeconomic backgrounds, different cultures, religions, countries of origin, genders, and also a definition of diversity that promotes a range of thoughts and a range of ideas. Are we achieving what we set out to accomplish? Well, when I look around, I think that we're doing pretty well in some areas and not so well in others. For example, I still see long-standing systemic inequities that have yet to be corrected. But at the same time, I'm also encouraged that in working together, we can and we will break down the barriers that stand in the way of becoming a truly diverse and just society. A society where equity, opportunity, and progress thrive for all people. So today, as we honor Dr. King and his message, we renew our commitment to making his dream, our dream, a reality. And do you know what the most important reason is for my optimism? The greatest reason for my optimism is that I am so fortunate to work here at Oakland University, where we have awesome young people like the outstanding student leaders that you're going to get to meet today. The next generation is just exceptional, and I am so confident that they will show us the way. Thank you.
Thank you, President Peskovitz, for those wonderful remarks. At this time, I'd like to call for, from Corewell Health, Carlos Cubilla, Executive Vice President and Chief Inclusion, Equity, Diversity, and Sustainability Officer, to the podium. Thank you.
Are we after 12? Not quite. So it's still good morning, right? Good morning. Wow, what an amazing group of individuals. I'm here to do a brief welcome for you this morning and just a couple of very, very, very brief remarks. But before I do that, I just want to acknowledge my CEO in the house, Tina Fries-Decker for Corewell Health. And also the Corewell team that's in the house. So they're here in support of this amazing event, and I'm just super excited that I get a chance to come up here and speak for a number of reasons. The first one is because I grew up probably about 4 minutes from here. I went to school at Pontiac Central, which, yeah, come on, give some love. Some love for Pontiac. Pontiac Central, which unfortunately is no longer Pontiac Central, but that's all right, the love lives on. And also, I used to play on the campus of Oakland University when I was young. I used to come up here all the time. So this is a homecoming for me, so thank you for allowing me to give you a couple of remarks this morning. I also want to acknowledge the D9, Divine Nine that's in the house today. Any Divine Nine members? A shout out to the Sisters of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority for their Founders Day. And the Sisters of Delta Sigma Theta 2 days ago, I think was your Founders Day, correct? All right, so now I'm out of trouble and I can move on. So, first of all, good afternoon. I'm delighted to join you for this important and exciting celebration. As Omar stated, I'm Carlos Cubia, the Chief Inclusion, Equity, Diversity, and Sustainability Officer for Corewell Health. Today, we honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, and we recognize these incredible students who are continuing his legacy. They are truly the keepers of the dream. If you haven't had a chance to go in this program and read up on each of these individuals like I did, please take a moment and do that. You're gonna hear a little bit about them coming up, but these are some amazing individuals, and that, Dr. Peskovich, is my reason for the optimism, is those 7 and others like them. Each year at this time, we pause to reflect on and recommit to the powerful vision for equality, justice, and prosperity. This is the dream that Dr. King articulated in his unforgettable I Have a Dream speech. And if you recall, early in that speech, Dr. King explained the purpose of the March on Washington. Those who gathered on that day, he said, come to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. The work of Dr. King and the civil rights movement was driven by that fierce urgency. I believe the students we are honoring today also feel that same sense of urgency. Dr. Martin Luther King's Jr. commitment to social and economic justice for African Americans defined his life. We at Corewell Health, we follow his leadership as we continue our health equity work. We invest in efforts to narrow health inequities and in outcomes, and we address racial healing. This is the urgent work that needs to be done, and it will take a collaboration and a collective efforts from all of us. We're truly working to embed diversity, equity, and inclusion in everything we do for the sake of our team members, our patients, and the communities that we serve. Only then can we truly fulfill our mission, which is to improve health, instill humanity, and inspire hope. I feel a sense of urgency, and as a health system, we feel a sense of urgency. Health equity is not an isolated issue. It's one that we're all in together. And as I stated earlier, it's going to take a collective effort of all of us coming together to break down the systemic barriers and systemic structures that keep health equity alive, health inequities alive. All of us today have inherited the dream that Dr. King articulated 61 years ago. We have all inherited the work. We have inherited his legacy. And it is our joy to partner with Oakland University as we honor these students today who are keeping Dr. King's dream alive and vibrantly active today in the way they study, in the way they serve, and in the way they lead. Today would have been Dr. King's 95th birthday. Think about that. Gone too soon. The work that Dr. King did, if that dream is realized, when that dream is realized, that work will benefit each and every one of us. That is the inclusiveness that Dr. King brought to the table. He was not just out for one group. His work was fighting for fair and equitable treatment for everyone. And to realize his dream, and once that dream is realized, then we will all feel that we're being treated with dignity and respect, and that our differences are valued, they're recognized, and they're understood. And it is at that time when his dream will truly be realized. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, Carlos, for your thoughtful remarks and for your leadership and support of the Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Award celebration. It is now my pleasure to begin presenting Oakland University's 2024 Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Awards. I ask that President Peskovich join me on the stage for the presentation. Noseba Layla, Noseba is a senior admissions ambassador with a passion for creating inclusive campus tours and helping others overcome challenges in pursuing a college degree. Fellow students of diverse religious, ethnicities, and financial status benefit from her efforts to share new perspectives that may not have yet been considered. Her work has been so effective that Noseba's approach has been incorporated into the work of all admissions ambassadors. Working in higher education in any capacity, you learn that every student is walking through a unique experience that can sometimes be overlooked. Noseba looked past those stereotypes and really leaned in to what students need. Our honoree has been a leader both on and off campus. Regarding the latter, she works with local community members to improve college access and educational equity. Noseba took advantage of an opportunity to meet with Governor Whitmer, for example, to discuss barriers to higher education and how the state can help students overcome them. Those who know Noseba feel she has a bright future that will likely incorporate many leadership roles. They also anticipate that she will excel at advancing diversity, race relations, and improve educational experiences for all students. As a Muslim Egyptian American, Noseba's journey has been marked by unique challenges. In the face of these challenges, she exemplifies resilience, grace, and commitment to advocating for inclusivity and diversity. On the video screens, our honoree will share more about what she has done and how this award has impacted her.
Winning the Keeper of the Dream means that I have something to show for the sacrifices my parents made coming to this country. My successes are their successes, and I could not be more proud to share this with them. It also means that I've been able to give back to a university that has done so much for me. It is of the utmost importance for me to aid in promoting racial understanding because I know what it means to be misunderstood and characterized because of my race. I'm inspired daily by the future Grizzlies who I meet as an admissions ambassador as I do my best to highlight everything I think they could benefit from at OU. I have been successful in adapting my tour procedures and talking points to ensure that each guest gets a custom experience. I do my best to create a space of inclusivity to all those who visit our campus by taking into consideration the various backgrounds I encounter. Dr. King's vision of equality is relevant in the work I do in bringing more students to Oakland because he envisioned a world where all students are able to exist in a harmonious state together and all have the same opportunities. By understanding the differences between equality and equity, I have done my best to ensure that not only are the prospective students confident that they will be able to fit in here, but that my team is equipped with the knowledge to make this campus feel like a welcoming home, especially to those of marginalized communities. Working for undergraduate admissions has been the joy of a lifetime, and I'm beyond proud to not only be a part of such an integral team to this campus, but the opportunities the position has given me to promote the diversity, equity, and inclusion of Oakland University, which has been immensely beneficial.
We are pleased to present Noseba Leda with the Comerica Bank Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Award. Tayon Williams. Raised by his sister after his mother's passing, Tayon has found strength to create his own path to success. The things I do are to make her proud, he said. Instead of using his pain as a cushion to slow down or stop, it was motivation to work even harder and to push himself further. If he was any fraction of the person she was, he would be most pleased. Tayon felt lonely when he first came to Oakland University, particularly being at a PWI. Becoming a core ambassador in the Center for Multicultural Initiatives helped to resolve this. This is where he discovered a supportive environment in which he could better interact with students and provide them valuable guidance. Our honoree has distinguished himself as a campus leader, excelled in the classroom, and served as a resident assistant, first-year assistant, and student video productions director. Celeste Huff, coordinator of orientation and new student programs, has seen Tayan's commitment to professional and personal development, as well as his strong interest in helping meet needs of the campus community. Tayan has been able to adapt to different conditions as he has shown that he is resilient in many different environments. Tayan actively campaigned to support a series of bills in Lansing that would reinstate tax incentives for media production in Michigan. This in turn could create a more viable postgraduate future for film and media graduates. Let us hear now more from Tayan in his own words.
Winning this award cements me as a safe and inclusive resource. It says to people from all walks of life that if they need support, I can point them in the right direction, and that if they need a shoulder to lean on, I have too. It's important to work towards promoting racial understanding because exposure to other walks of life is growing. With the world's connectivity ever growing, people have more questions, and there needs to be more people who are willing to offer up answers to those who are willing to learn. The person who inspires me to work towards breaking down cultural barriers is my sister, Taishe. She raised me into who I am and never once let me believe myself to be anything less than great because of the color of my skin. She taught me that, though I may not be spoon-fed every opportunity, that hard work could get me anywhere. Dr. King's vision of equality is relevant today because America is only growing in its diversity, and yet we are still separated by something as trivial as color. Dr. King believed that people should judge each other by the content of their character, and that's an issue that people still have to this day. My proudest work that involves diversity and inclusion will be my experience as a CMI Core Ambassador. I struggled with getting acclimated to this environment when I was a new student, so I wanted to be able to ease the transition on students like myself and use my troublesome experiences to help them become acclimated and comfortable in their new environment.
We are pleased to present Tayan Williams with the Whirlpool Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Award. Tuja Zhang. First generation Hmong American Tuja chooses to respond head on to challenges such as bullying. A music theater major, they co-founded, produced, and assisted in directing Kaleidoscope Cabaret, a performance that explores experiences of theater students from marginalized communities. Two sold-out performances allowed our honoree to share their story of being Hmong, being a trans Hmong non-binary child. This in turn inspired them to co-found Kaleidoscope Student Organization and serve as its secretary. Tuja is a well sought after student mentor for first-year students in the music theater department. This role has helped expand their confidence both on and off stage. Assistant Professor of Theater, Lene Layfeld, also serves as faculty advisor to Kaleidoscope, described them as wise beyond their years. A truthful, thoughtful, and vulnerable student and mentor, Tuja also serves as a board member on Infinity, a K-pop dance cover team with a mission to showcase how music can bring cultures together. Tuja's heart, personality, and confidence is larger than life, and the way that they connect with others is inspiring to observe and experience. I expect that they will be a beautiful, positive representative and role model in our university on multiple levels. Let us now hear from Tuja.
Being a recipient of the Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Award means the absolute world to me. Not only does it signify the pride I have for the work I accomplished on Oakland University's campus, it also serves as a milestone in my educational journey toward chasing my passions and hopes for equity, diversity, and inclusion. Promoting racial understanding holds such a special place in my heart because navigating society as a first-generation Hmong American, I have witnessed firsthand the struggles and unique circumstances one comes across when there is a lack of acknowledgement for identities. I grew up helping my immigrant parents' floral farming business, selling bouquets at farmers markets. At a young age, I was made aware of how my parents were treated differently because they did not speak English, and I would often have to be an advocate for them as they worked. I do not ever wish for anyone to go through the things that my family endured. Because of their hard work and dedication, my parents inspired me to champion a world where cultural barriers no longer exist. Dr. King's vision continues to remain extremely relevant today because although we as a society have made progress in dismantling hate and prejudice, racism and discrimination remain present in today's world. It is embedded in our laws, education, and upbringing. Last year, my friends Sarita Alvarado and Ana de Valoacono founded Kaleidoscope Cabaret, an event highlighting the students of the global majority in the theater department. We wanted to create a safe space and build community for the special circumstances that arise navigating theater as a person of the global majority, and to have the opportunity to tell our hidden truths on stage. This event inspired us to grow Kaleidoscope Cabaret into the organization Kaleidoscope Theater, where I currently serve as secretary and future president, continuing our annual cabaret and hosting educational workshops for members and allies.
We are pleased to present Tutor Zhang with the OU Alumni Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Award. Asha Mullins. Asha began her college journey here at Oakland University while the country was grieving the murder of George Floyd. And the incident motivated her to more actively demonstrate her belief in standing up for what is right. At a Black Lives Matter protest, she embraced the idea that change is possible if people of like minds work together. While working at Night Watch desk in Hamlin Hall, Asha strived to create a welcoming environment and to empower freshmen with support and guidance. Our honoree has also served as co-ambassador in the Center for Multicultural Initiatives, where she provided one-on-one mentoring to fellow students. Asha's friends note that she has stepped out of her comfort zone while taking on leadership roles in student organizations. She is an active member in the Intrigue Hip Hop Dance Team, the Association of Black Students, and Project Big Sister. Planning to make an impactful difference in healthcare after graduation, she is currently pursuing a research project on the impact of breast cancer in the Black community. Her goal is to help eliminate inequalities that prevent some people from receiving life-saving information and care. Wellness and Health Promotion Assistant Professor Catherine Roju said that what makes Asha's project stand out is his universal approach to including everyone. Asha will now provide for us her thoughts about this award and her experiences on campus.
Winning this award serves as my encouragement to continue to flourish academically. This financial support allows me to focus on the intellectual challenges and rigor that OU promises to its students. While thriving in school, it is important for me to work towards promoting racial understanding because it aligns with my mission to assist in making my community more inclusive and my commitment to equity and justice. My mother encourages me to break down cultural barriers. Coming from a multicultural family, I was raised surrounded by a number of different cultures, stories, traditions, and values. Being around all these amazing individuals have shown me the beauty of cultural diversity and has inspired me to use my voice to ensure that everyone is treated with respect and given the same opportunities. Dr. King's vision of equality is relevant today because he dreamt of a society where equality goes beyond racial boundaries. His dream was for all individuals, regardless of race, background, or identity, could coexist peacefully and respectfully. Dr. King's vision has become a reality, but the fight is not over. It is up to us to continue his work and make sure that everyone's voice is heard. An organization that I am most proud of that involves work of diversity and inclusion is OU Center for Multicultural Initiatives. Not only is it a supportive and loving environment, but it has given me the opportunity to work with individuals of different backgrounds and walks of life.
We are pleased to present Asha Mullins with the Marshall Family Scholar Foundation Keeper of the Dream Award. Shemaya Woods. While on a journey of self-discovery at Oakland University, Shemaya has made a commitment to help break down racial barriers. Experiences earlier in life have taught her the value of endurance and developing healthy coping mechanisms, strategies she shares with fellow students whenever possible. Shemaya also uses her experience of finding support and strong sense of community in the Center for Multicultural Initiatives core program to help others. She works with first-generation students from marginalized and exploited communities and strives to empower them with essential skills such as networking, self-advocacy, and self-help when needed. Our honoree's sense of service does not stop there, as she has also served as an orientation group leader, first-year assistant, and undergraduate admissions ambassador. Shemaya is passionate about everything she is involved in and provides a contagious, positive energy whenever she is around. As a human resource development major and the honors college student, Shemaya uses what she has learned, such as creating activities, campus presentations, and other resources for training, projects to create more inclusive work environments. Now let's listen to Shemaya address her goals and the honor of receiving the Keeper of the Dream Award today.
As a first-generation college student and the older sister of two, the Keeper of the Dream Scholarship is very personal to me. As someone who has navigated the journey of higher education without a guide, I realized the importance of showing that a person may begin the college experience without having everything figured out. Winning the KOD Award proves that success is achievable when you utilize your resources. Promoting racial awareness is essential for creating empathy, removing stereotypes, and building a more equitable society. Through my on-campus leadership, I am able to utilize my voice to bring about social justice and diversity that combats the ignorance that leads to racial prejudice, and ultimately leads to institutional change. My younger sisters and mentees motivate me to break down cultural barriers. I aim to ensure that they understand the significance of self-advocacy when they are faced with any form of prejudice or bias. I am motivated by them to actively work towards a more inclusive and understanding society, in which they may successfully handle any obstacles with knowledge and resilience. My parents have also inspired my commitment to diversity and inclusion by instilling these values in me growing up. While great progress was made during the Civil Rights Movement, significant obstacles remain. Because of ongoing racism, inequality, and injustice, Dr. King's vision remains relevant today. My generation as future leaders plays an essential role in the ongoing pursuit of equality and justice for all. And my dedication to these issues will help to further Dr. King's dream. The Center for Multicultural Initiatives holds an important place in my heart, and I am most proud of the work that this office does. Beginning my college career as a CMI course student, I progressed and gained essential academic skills. I value CMI's role in my journey as I now serve as a core ambassador for the office.
We are pleased to present Shemaya Woods with the Lynn and Leah McIntosh Scholarship Award. A.J. Joseph. Growing up Indian American and gender nonconforming, A.J. Joseph has long felt invisible. But when they began connecting with others in the Center for Multicultural Initiatives and Gender and Sexuality Center, they found confidence to eventually become a peer mentor for both departments. A.J. participates in events such as Lavender Graduation and the Queer Trans Discussion Group, which among other things challenges the stereotype that Indians cannot belong to the LGBT+ community. Our honoree also serves as Secretary of the Gender and Sexuality Alliance. OU's Gender and Sexuality Center Coordinator Blake Elon describes AJ's strongest qualities as their ability and commitment to lead by example. By choosing to be a leader in our community, AJ has taken on significant personal risk and I commend their bravery immensely, Blake said. They are also focused on the greater good over themselves without ignoring their needs and holding firm their boundaries. CMI Core Program Coordinator Vanessa Thompson adds that AJ is poised, vocal, and unapologetic advocate for students within the community. In class, our scholarship recipient has won the respect and admiration of faculty members by achieving great academic success, excelling in lab work, and working with others to create positive learning experiences. Now let's hear from AJ about their advocacy and excitement of receiving this award.
Winning the KOD Award has given me the recognition for my work on campus in improving racial understanding, while also allowing me to further my work on promoting racial understanding. As a South Asian, it is important for me to promote diversity, as I do not see much representation of myself on campus. It is important to me to work toward promoting diversity and equity because it renews my passion for racial justice that I want to bring in the medical field. I will keep fighting for people of color as well as the LGBTQIA community, as they are often not heard and lack the support they need. The staff at the Center for Multicultural Initiatives inspires me to work towards breaking down cultural barriers. Their work on campus inspires me to do the same. As someone studying medicine, Dr. King's vision is still relevant today. One example of this is found in neonatal care. The highest rate of premature births is found amongst the African American population. This is because of the stress mothers internalize caused by day-to-day racism. Being born prematurely results in costly care and brings in increased chance of long-term health issues. Dr. King's vision of equality is still something we need to aspire to, as racism is still an issue that impacts public health. I am most proud of my involvement in the Gender and Sexuality Center. As a peer mentor for the GSC, I was able to connect with other gender nonconforming students. Through this connection, I was able to mentor students through their first year of college and offer support as they learn more about themselves. I am also an encouraging presence for other people of color to join the Gender and Sexuality Center, making the office more diverse.
We are pleased to present AJ Joseph with the Lynn A. McIntosh Memorial Scholarship Award. Kayla Smith. Yes. Inspired by former First Lady Michelle Obama, Kayla Smith uses a keen knack of leadership and dedication to community service to help nurture belonging and opportunity on campus. She created the Queen Collective, an inclusive organization that aims to elevate Black collegiate women through service, empowerment, and womanhood. The QC was created for all Black identifying women to feel a part of a sisterhood and to showcase their efforts when it comes to giving back to the community. As a resident assistant, our honoree supports peers in overcoming struggles and helps maintain a comfortable environment where residents can easily adjust to campus life. What sets Kayla apart is her genuine passion for creating an inclusive environment. She goes above and beyond the surface level, continuously striving to learn and grow as a leader. Off campus, Kayla volunteers at the Capuchin Soup Kitchen and is active with the Grace Church International Praise Team. History professor Rochelle Danquois said she is an outstanding student, which is exemplified by her capstone project on civil rights activist Nannie Helen Burroughs. Kayla has the passion, spirit, and dedication of Burroughs as a social activist and a student leader at Oakland University. Special lecturer Timothy Grolewski offered similar praise. Most of the time, her assignments are the best in the class, and I can use her work as an example of how successful completion of each assignment is supposed to be done. Now let's watch a video in which Kayla shares her thoughts about her experience and being recognized here today.
Winning the Keeper of the Dream Scholarship is an immense honor because everyone is not awarded this opportunity, and I am blessed to be recognized for the work I have done to further equity and inclusion on our campus. With this achievement, I have the opportunity to further my education and continue to fulfill my dream of helping the Black community by creating an environment for us not to feel judged or rejected. I am inspired by Nannie Helen Burroughs to break down cultural barriers and strive for success because she defied the restrictions placed on her gender and race during a time period that silenced Black women. Though she faced many obstacles, everything she accomplished was for the enrichment of the African American community to better our future and bestow us more opportunities to gain success. I would like to also thank my father and my mother for their incredible support and the many sacrifices that they have made to provide me these opportunities. Dr. King's vision of inclusion, nonviolence, respect, and championing the fact that we are all Americans is even more relevant today. Although we have come closer to achieving equal rights, I still believe that in many instances, individuals are often penalized for their race, gender, or sexuality. Simply educating each other on different cultural backgrounds can help us raise awareness to work towards a positive change. Being a resident assistant for OU Housing allows me to create these comfortable and supportive environments for my peers. And as a peer mentor, I help their development academically and personally. The Queen Collective was created to help the elevation of our Black collegiate women through service, empowerment, and womanhood. The QC is for all Black identifying women to feel more included on campus and showcase their efforts when it comes to giving back to the community. Our mission is to serve our community and encourage our peers together as we advocate for social change through meaningful work.
We are pleased to present Kayla Smith with the Oakland University Alumni Association Black Alumni Chapter Keeper of the Dream Award. Let's give another round of applause for all of our recipients. As you can see, they are tremendous in the work that they bring here to Oakland University and in their communities. At this time, I see that there are a number of our former Keeper of the Dream recipients in the audience, and I also ask that you stand for recognition. If you're a former recipient, thank you. Thank you for being here with us today. At this time, I want to ask that we view a video of our honorees thanking this year's sponsors. Please turn your attention to the video monitors.
As a recipient of the Keeper of the Dream Scholarship, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for all of this year's sponsors.
Thank you, Whirlpool, for your support.
Lynn and Leah McIntosh Scholarship, we really appreciate your support.
Comerica, thank you for your support.
Oakland University Alumni Association, thank you.
Lynn A. McIntosh Memorial Scholarship. Your support is appreciated.
OUAA Black Alumni Chapter, thank you for your support.
Thank you, Marshall Family Scholar Foundation, for your support. I am so grateful to the sponsors who support our passion for inclusivity on this campus.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to ask for our Cast Technicians Ensemble to join us again for a second performance. Oh, that's for another day. All right. Thank you to the Cast Tech Technicians Ensemble for that outstanding performance. We warm in hearts in here today. We see young brothers like this. They're inspiring to us. The world tells us so many negative things, but we know that there is the truth out there. So we appreciate them for being here with us today. I am now pleased to introduce the keynote speaker for today's event. You gotta work. Lonnie Love. A Detroit native who has achieved tremendous success as a television host, comedian, actress, philanthropist, and author. Her second book, I Tried to Change So You Don't Have to, True Life Lessons, touches on many of the opportunities that Dr. King fought so passionately to make available to all people in this country. She writes about learning to resist the pressures of conformity, loving yourself for who you are, embracing your flaws, and unlocking your true potential. Prior to publishing the book in 2020, this two-time Emmy, two-time NAACP Image, and three-time Gracie Award winner set a high standard for what one can achieve by embracing thoughts and actions that nurture success. Lonnie has performed comedy all over the world and has served as executive producer of Little Women Unfiltered. Our guest also co-hosts the Gracie Award-winning weekend radio show, Cafe Mocha, which is broadcast on more than 40 stations. Lonnie has also hosted the nationally syndicated daytime talk show, The Real, co-hosted E! Daily Pop, and guest co-hosted E! Nightly Pop. In 2019, our speaker became the first female host on the main stage of the Essence Music Festival in New Orleans. And then a year later, hosted the first ever virtual Essence Festival, which celebrated the magazine's 50th anniversary. With 2 decades of experiencing and reflecting upon popular culture in this country, I know that she has wonderful insights to share with us. With this in mind, Oakland University, show your love for Miss Lonnie Love.
Give it up one more time to my school, Cass Tech. Stand up, babies. What's going on? What's going on? Hey, y'all did a wonderful job. That was such a great surprise. Thank you so much for coming out and studying. Y'all look good too, okay? All of y'all look good. Good afternoon. Happy King Day, everybody. Happy King Day. Turn to somebody that you don't know and say Happy King Day. Somebody you don't know. Turn. Smile at each other. Look at each other. This is what we're supposed to be doing. And you know, when they told me, they were like, there's this wonderful event at Oakland University. And I was like, oh, let me go look up Oakland University. Because I want to make sure, I check and make sure that it's a legit school. And your school is so wonderful. I don't think you understand what President P is doing here. It's some wonderful things, and I love the pictures, and I knew I was going to be safe because the students, there's a picture on the website, and they all like this. I was like, okay, I'm going to Oakland University. So thank you, President. Thank you to all of our sponsors for sponsoring this event, but I would not be here if it wasn't for the work of Omar Brown L. Please give him a hand. He worked so hard. Thank you so much, Omar. Well, Omar Mama is in the house. Omar, where Omar Mama? Stand up, let me see you. Stand up. You did a good job with that one. A wonderful job, thank you. Is that Daddy? He covered up. Oh, that ain't Daddy, okay, all right. Okay, moving along. Happy King Day, everyone. I'm about to get in trouble. It is really an honor to stand here today. Today is also Emmy Day. And when they asked me, well, do you want to do E or do you want to go to Oakland University? I said, I'm doing what Dr. King would have wanted me to do. He would want me to commit to service. This is a day of service. So I could not want to be here because I believe in education. And so congratulations to each and every one of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm already getting emotional because this is a wonderful way to acknowledge Dr. King. You know, the thing is, without Dr. King's speech, it helped to pass the Civil Rights Act. Without that act, I wouldn't be standing here. You guys wouldn't be here. A lot of you would not be living the life that you're living now if that act was not passed. In his speech, Martin Luther King encouraged others to have a dream and to pursue it, no matter what. In fact, most great leaders and innovators claim that you need to have a dream to be a good leader. And the only way to achieve real success is by having a dream. And I believe that because dreams can become reality. I am a daughter of Detroit. Shout out to the Lions after 32 long years. I mean, to be honest, okay, I was supposed to meet Omar at 8 o'clock this morning, right? And I said, because I went to the game. He didn't know that. So I like, Omar, I ain't gonna be able to meet you at 8 because I was partying with the Lions. You just not. We had a good time though. It was worth it, you know. So congratulations to the Lion, but that's a dream fulfilled after 32 years. I mean, that lets you know anything is possible. But you have to have a dream. Good luck. I need to come back next week so they'll win too, you know. I'm a daughter of Detroit. I grew up in the Brewster Projects. It was during the 80s, during the crack era. Everybody that grew up in the crack era know it was a very depressed state. We had little money. Either folks were on crack or they were selling crack or they was just trying to live around it. Thank you. It was a mess. And I have to say, what gave me encouragement at that time was television. There was a show, and y'all too young to know about it. Some of my old heads would know. Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous. Remember? That was the first reality show ever. It was a show called Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous, and what it would do, it would actually, it was hosted by a man named Robin Leach. He was from Britain, and he had this British accent, so it was all haughty-taughty, you know? And it showcased extravagant lifestyles of athletes and entertainers and, you know, socialites. But that show took me out of the lifestyle and the life of the projects in the 80s. And I remember watching one episode, and it was a lady, and she was on a yacht, and she had her hair, and she had champagne, and she had caviar, and she looked just different than me. And she had a different life than me. That television show really impacted me because it made me realize that there are different people living different lives than where I was. I mean, you know, you remember the crack era. I mean, we had a cousin, they would steal your stuff and then sell it back to you. Like, it was terrible. So because of that, that's when I first started realizing that I could do something different, but I have to get out of the situation that I was currently in with Project Life. Project Life was rough. And that's what I loved about television shows. There was the Cosby Show. There were all the, the reality shows. There were all types of sitcoms that showed different people living different types of lives than, what I saw. So that was my first dream of getting out of the projects. I didn't know how, but television became my influencer. And I never forgot that. How was I going to fulfill my dream? You have to put in work to fulfill your dreams. MLK put in work. For years, his first thing was his education. He earned his Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology from Morehouse. He earned a Bachelor of Divinity. He also had a doctorate of philosophy from Boston University. And growing up, no one talked to me about college. So when I graduated from Cass Tech, nobody talked to me because nobody in my family went to college. So there was never a discussion. We have to keep having discussions about how important education is to people. How to get out of certain situations, you have to have a foundation. College gives you a foundation. So your foundation is starting right now. But at the time, I didn't have that. So I graduated at 17 from Cass Tech, and then I got a job at General Motors, because at the time, we was building all kind of cars in Detroit. Detroit, the Motor City, and always gonna be the Motor City. That was the hardest work I've ever had to do. We built 500 cars a day. Yeah, this is back in the 80s. Remember, they was buying them cars. We worked 17 hours Monday through Friday. We do 10 on Saturday, and we do 8 on Sunday. Anybody out there driving a 1987 Chevrolet Cutlass, take that car back. Because I built it. I was messing the cars up. Engine's supposed to have 52 screws. I put 2 screws. Sit it on down. I'm tired. But working at General Motors allowed me to meet some of the engineers that worked at the plant. And they saw how young I was. And so they became my mentors. They started encouraging me. They gave me books to read. They got me inspired to get out of the environment that I was in. And so, because I was so inspired by the engineers, I was like, wow, that's a fascinating job. And it was a clean environment. They wore suits and stuff. I was like, I want to be an engineer. So I studied and I looked up engineering. And I found a school in Texas that graduated the most Black engineers. It was called Prairie View A&M University, Prairie View, Texas, right? So I studied and I took a SAT. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, okay, in order to get in, you got to have this, this, and this. And I applied. And while all that was happening, I was still saving my money because I was working so much, so hard at the factory. So I saved enough money to go down there. I got accepted, and I had 1 semester's worth of money. Now, I never flew out of Texas. I never flew out of Michigan. It was my first time on an airplane. I just did it because I thought my life was going to change. I didn't know what I was doing, but one thing I can tell you throughout your life, you have to have some type of belief. I don't know what you want to believe in. I believe in God. I believe Jesus was Black. Come on, Jesus was Black. John chapter 13, verse 9, they asked him, are you the Son of God? He said, I be he. That was Ebonics. Hey, I'm reading my Bible. Noah was a Mexican. Noah was Mexican. Who else could build a boat 4,000 feet long, 5,000 feet high in one day? That's a Mexican. I'm reading my Bible. Have a belief. That's the whole point. I don't know but have some type of belief. Because when you go down, you need something to lift you up. That's what beliefs are for. So I had to believe. I said, okay, I got accepted. I got some money to cover me for the semester. I'm gonna go down there. Went down there, didn't know what I was doing. I stood in line to get registered, and there was a counselor there. And he was like, hey, welcome to the school. I showed him all my papers. He said, what do you want to major in? I said, engineering. He's like, he looked at me, he said, you know that's a lot of math and science. I was like, what you mean? A lot of math and science? You think I can't be? Give me the classes, don't you worry. I'm on whatever, didn't even know what so he gave me algebra, he gave me statistics, he gave me biology, he gave me physics, and he gave me English. My first semester, I never forget. It kicked my tail. But I studied really, really hard because tell them we at the King Day service. Tell them you'll be right there. But you got listen to Lonnie. Okay. And I didn't have any place to go, so I made sure that I studied. I was an RA. I joined the band. I did a whole bunch of stuff that one semester. I studied really, really hard, and I ended up getting all A's, and I got 1 B. And that 1 B was from English. Professor Smith, I still hate her. Okay, anyway. But then the end of the semester was coming, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't have no money for the next semester, because I wasn't thinking about, I'm like, I didn't apply for financial aid, and remember, my family wasn't, they weren't college involved, so I had nobody. And that's when your belief comes through, because I was like, I started making a plan. I said, well, I'm just gonna have to leave, and I have to get a job, come back, and I'm gonna finish this. It might take me 15 years. And I said, but something's gonna happen. Towards 2 weeks, towards the end of the semester, the counselor that signed me up for all those classes, he called me up. He said, come to my office. I went in, he said, hey, I looked at your grades, and I submitted you for a scholarship, and you got it. God, or whatever your belief in, when you try to put in work, it will work out for you. And guess where the scholarship was from? General Motors. First car I bought was from General Motors. They took care of my whole college career. They paid for everything, the books, everything. I was like, thank you, General Motors. And to this day, I will drive a General Motors car. I rent a General Motors car because they gave me my career. I was an engineer. I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. I was an engineer for 8 years at Xerox. And I ended up getting a job in El Segundo, California. And sometimes in life, you have to look at signs when you're trying to figure out where you want to go. Because I had like 7 offers all around the United States. But I picked El Segundo because as a little girl, I used to watch television. And Sanford and Son, Fred G. Sanford lived where? In El Segundo. That's why I picked El Segundo, California. TV was my influence. True story. I was always doing stand-up. I always liked to entertain people. I always liked to see people laugh. And so I decided to change careers. I was an engineer for 8 years. I decided to get into entertainment. Comedy was my plan to get into entertainment. And so that's what I did. And I remember I became really good. I was doing a lot of gigs. I was traveling all around the world. And then I got a call from my agent. And he says, in Las Vegas, they want to open up the Venetian. And the Venetian has this grand opening, and they want you to be a part of the grand opening. And I was like, oh, great, I love Vegas. And they said, you're gonna be working with Robin Leach from Lifestyles and the Rich and the Famous. He was old, he was like 80. But I was like, oh my goodness. I was so happy to meet Robin Leach and tell him how his show inspired me. And that's funny because sometimes that's how life will be for you. It will go full circle. And if things that you're hoping for that you think is not gonna happen, will happen. Just put in the work. That's what Dr. King always wants us to do. Just keep putting in the work, and it may happen for you. We had a good time. And this is the thing, to close up that part of it, every milestone, I promised myself I would celebrate it in a great way. And I go back to television and that woman that was on that yacht. So every milestone birthday that I have, I rent a yacht and I get caviar and champagne. I have a dream. One of the most memorable parts of the I Have a Dream speech is when Dr. King shares his vision of a future where individuals are judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. This is what this award is about. And to my award recipients, to AJ and to Nasiba, to Asha, to Kayla, to Tyon, did I say that right? Tayon, Shemaya, and Tuger. You are now keepers of the dream. You have a responsibility. Do not take it for granted. I saw your family behind you, and you said, Dad, I reminded you of your mom. And when I saw you, I felt an energy. And I know what it's like. I know it's been hard for your family, but you can't let them down. Tuger, you have a responsibility to your community. You do not let them down. Do not let down your community. What you are trying to do to help Black women, do not let them down. You look like you get in trouble a lot. No, I'm just kidding. Get your education. Finish your school. You have a whole community that loves you, and you're working towards them. You guys are the keepers of the dream. What Martin Luther King asked for us is that we simply keep his work going. You have that opportunity, so don't let it go. I get emotional because I think a lot of times we take for granted that we live in a country where you have rights. Some women don't have rights. LGBTQ+, they don't have rights. We live in a country where all you gotta do is get up and vote for who you like. So keep that going so that we can keep our country going. That's your responsibility. Oh, we're gonna have to edit this. She done cried through the whole damn speech. What is wrong with her? When I was at Prairie View University, I was a member of the Student Activities Board, yes. And I was able to book Yolanda King, Dr. King's oldest daughter. She has passed, but it was an honor to be able to speak to her. And there were things that she shared with me that some of you may know, some of you may not know. But she shared fascinating stories about her dad. His birth name was Michael King. He was born January 15th, 1929, and he was named after his father, Michael King. But 6 years later, King's father visited Germany and learned about Martin Luther, the leader of the Protestant Reformation, and he said that he was so inspired that he returned home and officially changed the name of him and his eldest son to Martin Luther King. Dr. King was thrown into jail nearly 30 times over the course of his lifetime as he advocated for civil rights, 30 times. He was arrested for acts of civil disobedience, as well as for things as loitering and minor traffic violations. The I Have a Dream speech was improvised halfway through his speech at the 1963 event. And you can see this if you go back to YouTube, you can see it. Gospel singer Mahalia Jackson, she shouted, "Tell him about the dream, Martin. The call out prompted King to pivot to a previous sermon he delivered where he was describing a version of America that was equal and accessible to all citizens. So sometimes you have to go off script. In life, sometimes when you think you're planning and you're going one way and life takes you another way, improvise. Never be afraid to go off script because you can make history. Something else that Yolanda King shared with me, when her dad passed, the King family had no money. They didn't have life insurance. He spent all his life trying to get equality and equity for others, and he didn't have it for his own family. When I co-hosted the talk show, The Real, I invited his youngest daughter, Bernice King, to come and celebrate the King holiday. We have become very good friends. I admire Bernice King, and I often work with the King Center because she protects her family's legacy as well as her other brothers. And she don't play about her mama, Coretta Scott King. So Jonathan Majors, you need to stop it. This whole thing about you want a Coretta, Bernice don't like that. Because she don't play about her mama or her daddy or the legacy. And sometimes you have to speak up when people are trying to attack your legacy. Never be afraid to do that. When you are a keeper of a dream, you have to discern what is right and what is wrong, what is play, what is serious, and nothing is wrong with that. In the face of adversity, Dr. King remained steadfast in his belief that love and compassion have the power to overcome hate and division. His message of unity and solidarity resonates with us as we confront the challenges of our time. Right now, we are dealing in a social media world. Don't get caught up in that. People that you don't know may say something negative to you. Why are you paying attention to that? Stay focused on what you need to stay focused on. Stay in your lane and do your work and let them hate. Let's recommit ourselves to the values that Dr. King championed. Let's strive to be agents of positive change. That's why I'm here today, because this is positive. This is uplifting. This is helping. So your responsibility, all these people here, they ain't for me, they're for y'all. So before you leave, you go and say hi to all these people that came to support you, because they ain't had to be here. They could have been in their bed. They didn't have to go to work. What I'm saying is, sometimes we have to show gratitude. Never forget to express gratitude. Sometimes we get so caught up with looking at the negative and the bad. Oh, I'm not here, I'm not there, I'm not doing. What is it that you do have? What is it that you can be thankful for right now? I'm thankful for good health. I'm thankful that I can stand in these shoes and my knees don't hurt. It's simple stuff for me. Always learn to practice gratitude. Because gratitude will help you to understand that whatever problems you're going through is not as many problems as what's happening over there in the world, other parts of the world. Understand that. In closing, I urge each and every one of you to take Dr. King's dream to heart and to be the keepers in the dream of your own lives. We survived. Everybody in here is a survivor. We survived a global pandemic. That means that your life, and rest in peace to the ones that didn't make it, but there's a reason why you survived. Don't take it for granted. I couldn't see my family in Detroit for 2 years because of the pandemic, because of the lockdowns, and finally was able to see them. I said, you know what, I'm gonna call everybody back. We're gonna go to Detroit. We're gonna have a family reunion in the park. 2 things happened. I flew like 75 of us. 2 things happened while we was trying to have a family reunion. Number one, grandma started bringing up old stuff, right? You know, I don't think that's his daddy. Shut up, grandma. She just being messy. Number 2, we started drinking in the park, right? Yeah, we got, the Henny. We got lit. Started thinking about her stories. All 75 of us started fighting in the park, y'all. True story. All 75 of us, hey Lisa, we started tearing up the rugs, the grass, taking off wigs. We started fighting so bad they called the Detroit police. Half of them are our cousins, so we started fighting them. So they got a paddy wagon, put all 75 of us in jail. True story. I'm the only person in the family that got money, so I had to bail everybody out. I don't mind that, that's my family. Like, I got them in trouble anyway. But it took me 3 days to bail everybody out because I didn't know everybody's real name. We all got nicknames. I'm like, who is Pookie? So I get to the jailhouse, they give me a list of names I ain't never heard before. Who is Kenneth Billingsworth? Who is that? We got white people in the family. Who is Kenneth who? Oh, that's Skillet. Get Skillet out of jail. No, he don't know this name. Just say Skillet. I didn't even know my grandmama's name. I just know her as grandmama. So I'm like, how am I gonna find her? I said, let me look for the oldest sounding name on the list. Clarabelle, that's gotta be her. Clarabelle, they don't make them no more. That's pre-civil rights, that name. This got to be her. Clarabelle. See if it's a Clarabelle back there. She came out. What took you so long? I didn't know your name, Clarabelle. We are a family. And now that I'm here at Oakland University, I'm part of your family. It is indeed an honor to stand up here and cry and celebrate and just be happy. Because when we talk about diversity, this is what Dr. King was talking about. This is what we have to keep striving to. We can all get along. Look at all the different people. There's white people here, there's Muslims, there's black people. You can always look at the black people, tell the black people. Hispanics. Look around. Look at all the different beautiful people. Keep keeping the dream, Oakland University. Keep believing in yourself. Dr. King, I believe, would be proud. Yes, there's still work to do, but Dr. King would be so proud because you all are keeping his dream alive. So I love you. I thank you for this moment. Happy Martin Luther King Day, everybody.
Thank you, Lonnie Love, for being here with us today and for sharing your message of gratitude and for sharing with us your message of putting in the work. We know how requisite that is for each and every one of us to get up every morning and to have intention about what it is that you plan to accomplish, and we have to get to work. When we see that there is injustice, we have to speak up and get to work, all the while being grateful for what it is that we have each and every day. We do have a few moments remaining in our program, and at this time, Ms. Love has agreed to answer a few questions from our audience. So, as the microphones are being placed in the center aisles, we have about 10 minutes to answer any questions that you might have of Ms. Love. So if you can make your way to the center aisles, we will answer any questions that you may have.
Don't be shy. Oh, here's one. Uh-oh, she about to ask a real question. Okay. All right, girl. Be easy on me.
Hello, Lonnie and everyone else. I really enjoyed your story, but how did you get involved? How did you get the position of on the TV show?
it's what happened was I was maybe 10 years within my career. I had different types of development deals, and development deals in Hollywood for the production people. You make a deal with a studio to try to come up with a program. And so I got a development deal from Warner Brothers, and I was trying to do my own show. And then they came to me one day, they said, hey, we have an idea for a show, but it's different. It's all women of color, and we want to know if you want to be part of it. And I said, well, I want my own show. But they said, you know, this is going to be something that's historic and great, and we think we need your voice. And so remember what I told you, sometimes, you know, you have to wait on your dream to help another dream. And so that's what I did, and that's how we developed The Real. And it was on for 8 seasons. We won Emmys and Image Awards, and so many women actually benefited from it. So I'm happy that I did it, and the beautiful thing is that I'm going to have my own show coming up in the fall. So I just had to wait. Hi, honey.
How do you face discrimination on campus?
I beat people up. No, I'm just kidding. Violence is never the answer, especially on Dr. King Day. Nonviolence is the answer. You know, I have to have empathy for people. The best example I can give you is like online. Because I am a performer, I get a lot of criticism. I get a lot of people that troll, a lot of people that bully. I don't take it personal, and I keep focused. And if they're bullying you to a point where you need to get assistance, you go tell the right people at your school, or you talk to your parents and you let them know so you all can handle it. But personally, I never take it in. I block and I bless, and I keep going.
Thank you for coming out. My question is, what's your favorite sentence or your favorite word that you use throughout the day?
No, I can't say that. This is a family show.
Or favorite snack?
Oh, now snacks.
Favorite to-go snack?
Potato chips. Yeah. Yeah, that's not. I'm trying to. Did the check clear yet? Can I cuss?
We still got about 20 more minutes.
Oh, okay.
All right, over here.
Oh, Mark, keeping me. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Lonnie. Great conversation.
Thank you.
One of the things that I wanted to ask, with all of the backlash in diversity, equity, and inclusion, what are some of the things? I mean, there's some heavy things going on right now. How do you propose that people still keep the hope alive when it's so deep in day-to-day conversation, and that we're seeing people struggle so much with the recent University of Lincoln suicide?
It's what Dr. King said, is that the good people have to speak up. You can't be silent. Even though you may feel afraid to speak up or you don't want to get involved, if you see something wrong, you have to call it out. You have to let it be known. And there are more people that will help and support you with that than all. But that's what we're doing. We're calling things out. And that's why I use my platform to make sure that I put out information, correct information. There's a lot of misinformation and false information. So I try not to put out things that I don't know, that hasn't been cleared. But it's important for the good people to speak up, just as well as the people that think that they have their visions and their goals. There are more good people than bad people. That's why in the movies, you always want the good person to win. Like,
thank you
the
for
ending
using
is
your
good.
voice. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Maya, before you ask your question, those of you who are in line now, those will be the last ones that we will take. Thank you, Maya.
Thank you so much, Lonnie, for being here. I've been a fan of you ever since you were on The Real. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure getting to meet you. And congratulations to all my Keeper of the Dream recipients. As a former KOD recipient, I'm so happy to see the CMI office continuing their legacy as they've done ever since I was a freshman at Oakland University. So thank you guys so much, and congratulations. My question for you So I work for a college prep program at the university called Project Upward Bound. Can my pub scholars just wave their hands in the
Come
back
on,
there?
scholars.
Yeah,
Yes.
there they are. And so we're trying to prepare them for the next phase of their lives, and maybe they will be future Keeper of the Dream recipients.
They will.
I know, I'm speaking into existence. So what advice can you give as they're in high school preparing for the next phase of their lives? What advice can you give our high school students?
Definitely study, read more, research. I mean, see, back in the day when me and Omar we didn't have Google. You know, we was horse and buggy. You'd have to go to the library, walk to the library. You know, and we had to get big old encyclopedias. You know, A, B, through Z. You remember, don't act like you don't remember, Omar. We used to have to do that. But now you have information at your fingertips. So make sure you study and you research and also have a plan. What is it that you really want to do in your life? You know, a lot of my friends, they majored in things and then that's not what they really wanted to major in. So you got to ask yourself, what is it that interests me? And then because you're in high school, you have time. If something interests you, then go and find and maybe go to an event about it or read about it or go to a program about it to see if you really are interested in it. But you have so much more opportunity than what Omar had when he was coming up in the 1900s. So that's what I was saying.
Thank you so much, Lonnie.
Over here, we might be out of time. Question.
I believe that the Lord wants us to prosper. In John 15, it says, if you abide in me and my word abides in you, then you shall ask for whatever you want and it shall be given to you. And as somebody who wants to prosper, my question is, how do you abide in the Lord when you're making those grand strides in life?
You know what? Definitely you are a man of faith. So he already got you. You just got to make sure that you believe in it. That's the thing. And as you're believing in it, you got to put work into it. That's what we've been saying. See, a lot of people, they want to be a rapper, but they don't, put in the work or be a rapper. I mean, maybe you're not the best rapper, then study it. Everything is about study. We're in a facility that's all about studying. So make sure that you study, but because a plan doesn't go your way doesn't mean that it's not your plan. When I was doing the reel, I just told you, I didn't want to do the reel at first. But that was God's plan. And what happened, I ended up being very thankful for it because it introduced me to beautiful people like yourselves. And now I'm more prepared now for my own show because I wouldn't have been prepared for it back then. He knows everything. Or whatever your universe is, sometimes you just go with it. Stop going against it. If you believe and you really want it, it's going to happen for you. So just remember that. Good luck. Hey, baby.
Good evening, Miss Love. It's definitely a pleasure to meet you. You put a lot of smiles on my face.
Oh.
My question to you is, why the change from engineering to entertainment, and how did you find the time to maintain your academics while you were working?
It was hard. Like it was a sacrifice. The thing is that one day, and I pay attention to signs, and I tell that to young people. If you're feeling something, you're just not feeling right about something, sometimes you take a step back. I was at a point where I was an engineer. I was very successful. I was a project engineer. I had my own office, everything, But I wasn't happy. And I was like, why am I not happy? And I needed a sign because I had to make decisions then. I had a boyfriend, so either I was gonna get married and have kids. And I ain't want that. And that's what I'm saying about making sure you plan your life. Understand, what is it that you really want out of life? So I took some time to myself. And I had always did stand-up in college. I did like a little bit on the side. And so one day I was like feeling down. And whenever you feel down, do something to make you come up. So I went to the Comedy Store and I saw all these guys doing stand-up and I only saw one female. And I was like, why is there only one female? There are more voices out there. And that's what started my actual professional comedy career. Now, believe me, it was not easy. I was doing engineering in the day, I was doing stand-up at night, I wasn't getting no sleep, I was trying to take naps. But I just worked on it, and I worked on it to the point where I got my stand-up career to a point where I was able to actually, one day, we had a layoff at my job, and I went to my boss, because that was my sign, and I said, save a job and lay me off. And that was in 2002, and I became a full-time comedian, and I never looked back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, baby.
Hello, how you doing, Lonnie? My name is Jalil. I wanted to say that I am a firm believer in manifestation because I remember when I was 15 and we had no cable, and your show, The Real, was like the only show that would come on.
Oh,
I wouldn't
Lord,
watch.
I'm sorry.
I wouldn't watch no other show besides The Real because that was the only thing that kept my attention. And now it's crazy that I'm able to see you today. I said one day that I was gonna meet you in person. It was like,
come on, give me a
it's
hug.
finally here.
That's what I'm talking about. The power of television. Good luck. Now, what's your question?
Now, my question is, how did you stay focused on a dream, in your dream, through all the obstacles of going through school? I mean, this schoolwork is crazy. They slap you on this every day. Schoolwork, life, traumas,
It's
all
balance.
type of things like that.
It's a lot of balance, and you got to stay away from some things. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away from some things. When you got a point where you're trying to get a goal, you can't get mixed up in certain things. I'm in Hollywood. I don't go to all the Hollywood parties. There's a reason why. Because I want to stay out of trouble. So that 10 years from now, people ain't saying, I saw Lonnie. So as a young person, you stay focused. And when you listen to your intuition, if it's something you're not supposed to be doing and you don't feel right, turn around. You can always turn around. Never be afraid to turn around. It might save your life.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, baby!
Hi. My name is Cannon. And my question is, how do you keep going through life when things get difficult and people push you down and you can't get back up and you want to work hard and get out of staying tempted?
Come on.
How do you work through that?
What I do is I find something that makes me feel good. And you find something that makes you happy. So helping people is what I like to do. So that's why I came here today, so that I can help people, maybe inspire them a little bit. But there are times when I'm sad. And you know what? It's okay to be sad sometimes. Just don't be sad for too long. Just give yourself a little time. Say, I'm gonna be sad. And then you go get you some Kool-Aid or some. Watch some little TV, play your game, and then you'll realize that you have the next day. There's always tomorrow. Tomorrow is always a reset. So you remember that whenever you're sad, make sure you go tell your parents, say, I'm feeling sad. You might need a little time to yourself. They're gonna check on you. But you yourself, you have to check on yourself. You do something to keep yourself happy. And always remember, tomorrow, it'll be different. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Hey, honey.
Hello.
We're running close on time, so let's keep our questions very specific. Thank you.
Okay. You tell me to cut it short. Get it? Cut it short. Anyway.
Crazy.
This is my brother now. It's my brother.
All right. My name is Alexander Hernandez. I'm also in the musical theater program with Tujer.
Yes.
And I was wondering, what advice would you have for young artists fighting to get the voices of our cultures and our people into rooms and fighting to just get representation of ourselves on stage and on film?
So hard. It's hard to get a movie made. It's hard to get a television show made, in the industry. So I understand it. First of all, support the things that support your community. That's the first thing. A lot of times we don't support. Like right now, you got The Color Purple out. support your community. Because when the studios see that a movie like that is something that people are interested in, they'll make more of that. You know, they'll include more. My friend Ali Wong and her movie Beef, it's like because it's getting so much support, now there'll be more opportunities for all of us. But also, you have to just keep, like, if you're a writer, you're a developer, if you, you know, I write projects, make sure you write projects and send it out. Take any opportunity. You guys have YouTube, you have Google. You can put a 5-minute movie, you know, or you guys sing it, and it goes viral, and that gives you the attention that you need. That gives you maybe somebody to contact you. So, like I said, we didn't have that back in the day. You guys have it right there at your fingertips. So when you're a creative person, use your creativity to make sure that you put your message out there. You have Instagram, put a little 10-second or whatever you put it out there. You never know who is going to see it. And also keep your mind open and aware of what's happening. I do a run in New York because I love musical theater, and I always go and I support the actors, and I've gotten to know them. Even the ones that are not popular, the ones that aren't popular are the ones that I like to get to know because I like to support them. So you're creative, keep being creative, create stuff, put it out there as much as you can, and just keep your mind aware, and you'll get a break. I promise you will.
Thank you.
Hey.
Good afternoon. My name is Jacqueline McClinton. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta.
Come on. Where the ski-wees? Happy Founders Day. All right, babe.
So thank you so much for inspiring our youth. We bring them here every year to hear Keeper of the Dream. So thank you, thank you, thank you. My question as an author is, how did you decide to write your books, and what advice do you have to inspiring authors that may be in the room?
I think that to all authors, everybody in this room should be keeping some type of journal. I don't care how young you are, how old you are. Your journal is your history. How are people gonna remember something that happened if you don't keep a journal about it? Even if you just do it once a week, just say, you know, I had a good week, or I didn't have a, you know, everybody in here should keep some type of journal, because that's your family legacy. Even if it doesn't get published, your family will have something. You know how, I don't even know who my great-great-granddaddy, I don't know. I gotta go on Ancestry.com. And you know what I found out? I am 1/3 Nigerian and 10% British. I'm like, what is... I don't think that's right. Do I look anywhere near British? I don't even have a British accent. But if somebody would have kept a journal, and so that's why I encourage everybody, and the reason why I wrote a book is because I wanted to give back. Because when I was growing up, I told you, I didn't know nothing about college. I didn't know nothing about being a young Black girl, how to get out the projects. All of that I put in that memoir. And that's why I'm saying it's important for us as creatives to write our story, even if it's just for our families to keep, and our families have something to remember and go by. That's legacy, and that's historic. That's why I did it. Now, it's really hard to get it published, but it's possible. I mean, I had to do a lot. I had to do it was like a 40-page proposal. I had to go all around to get it. You know, I pitched it to different publishing houses, and I finally got one, Simon & Schuster, and I had to sell it because I believed in it enough. I didn't cry, thank goodness. But it's hard, but it can be published, and you also can do self-publishing now. So that is a way to get it out. Again, we didn't have that back in the day. You can self-publish, put it out there, and it becomes a runaway hit. So use all your avenues, but everybody in here, even tonight, when you go home, just jot down something about your day. If you don't want to write it, you got the phone. I had a good day with Lonnie. Just start, and Omar. Do that. Keep history, because 20 years from now, 50 years from now, you're gonna be wondering, how did people survive a pandemic? How did they? You got the history. You helping them to determine and understand the history of it. All right.
Hi, Lonnie. How are you? I'm Allison Vaughn with Jackets for Jobs. You were our keynote speaker at MGM a couple of years ago. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yes. And you were an inspiration then, and you're still an inspiration. And I just wanted to say thank you for being here at Oakland University because you just have such a positive energy. And I guess my question, it's really not a question, because you were our speaker and I'm such a fan of yours, I have season tickets to the Lions. So if you want to come back next week, you can go to the game with me.
Yes!
We'll talk.
You see how God works? You see how God works? You see how God works? Didn't I tell y'all I should come back next week? You see? Right there. Right there. I'll be
standing
right
right
there
here.
too with all my Lions gear on.
I'm standing
Thank
right here
you.
too.
No, bruh.
I
You
made
missed
that happen.
out. You should have
I
pulled
made that happen.
it out.
So if you just giving out Lions tickets, like,
I'm gonna see you
Okay.
after. I just might stay. I might stay the rest of the week.
I'm over here.
Oh, yes, baby.
Hi, I'm an aspiring film creator, and I'm in currently film production and screenwriting.
All right.
And so I was just wondering how you got in touch with your agent or like manager to like get your works out, to like get in those rooms.
Definitely. There is a list. If you go, if you Google it, it's called Samuel L. French, and they have a list of agents and managers. It's like a booklet, or even you can Google Hollywood agents and managers. And what I would do is I would put together, like if you have like a little 5-minute or whatever you have that's creative and a resume, send it out to them. And they're always looking for new talent. You would get, they may not be like a high level agent, but they could be an agent, and if they're an agent that can actually help you and help you spread out your work. So that's the first thing. That's what I did to get my very first agent. He was horrible, but the point is, I got in.
Samuel L. French?
It's called Samuel L. French Bookstore. I don't know if they have the physical ones, but I think they still have it online. Or either Google Hollywood agents and managers, and then what you do is, like I said, you submit to different, I like submitted to all of them, like over 200 of them or whatever, and out of that 200, I got maybe 2, but that didn't matter because those were the 2 that were important to me. So that's what you have to do when you're looking for agents and managers. You have to submit. Sometimes you can, talk to somebody or whatever, but it depends on what your level is. But the more important thing, instead of trying to get an agent and manager, is work on your creativity, work on your projects, push them out there. There are film festivals. We just did a First Look Film Festival in Washington, D.C., where President Obama, he debuted his film, Rustin. And so submit to the film festivals, because that will help you get the attention that you need for agents and managers. Film festivals are very good, and they have a lot of student film festivals. So I would recommend doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, last but not least, my name is Dottie. I graduated here in 2012.
All right.
So my question is, you know how in a lot of these states, they're taking African-American history out of the schools. What do you propose to keep it in? Because this is what founded this country. So to take it out is absolutely crazy. What do you think?
This is an election year. This is a very important year. I just wish we had a president that was under 65. That's all. Both of them. Oh, both of them, it's like, but both of them are running. Yeah. Both for who?
Lonnie.
You don't want me to be president. I'll be lit in the White House. No. We have qualified people. I do an organization called When We All Vote. Is headed by Michelle Obama. To date, we have registered over like 40,000 people to register, and that's what I do for my part. The issue is that because this is an election year, people get caught up in the national election, but what's really important is the local election, because that's where those propositions and laws are being passed. Okay. You have to be active. People don't want to take the time. You have to be active because they're passing these policies. And then one time I was like, what happened? They was making me pay for plastic bags. I was like, wait, what happened? They was like, a proposition passed. I was like, and that's what made me realize I got to pay attention more to the local elections. So I ask everybody, look at your local elections more so than even the national, because they're passing it that way. and put your people and people that understand. You know, it takes time to maybe go through candidates, but it's worth it because that's your life. That's why I tell people, I said, people don't want to be bothered with local elections, but that's where everything is getting passed. So take a few minutes. I mean, if you on the internet and you're on there for an hour, well, take 10 minutes and say, let me look at what's going on in my community. Let me look and see what's happening there. And you'll be like amazed at the things that's happening, the people that are running that are really good people, but they don't get the support. Hill Harper is running. Y'all, everybody
Thank you.
need to help Hill Harper, okay, please, because he needs to be senator. He's a great guy, and he's steadfast and he's honest, but your local elections is where a lot of that stuff is happening, so make sure you vote for your local electors that's gonna vote in your interest. Thank you guys so much. I'll be here next week at the Lions game. You won't.
Thank you again to my sister, Lonnie Love, for being here at Oakland University. We certainly appreciate all your time that you've given to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for supporting this historic Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Award celebration through your presence here today, your scholarship gifts, and all that you do to continue the journey that Dr. King began so many years ago. I want to thank this year's sponsors for their support of the 32nd Annual Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Award celebration. A round of applause. I also like to thank the folks who worked tirelessly for almost a year, every year, to make this event the success that it is, and that is the Keeper of the Dream Scholarship Awards Committee. Please give them a round of applause. It has been an honor for me to serve again as the MC of this event and its ever-growing legacy. I'm happy that all of you were here, all of my friends, all of my family, all of you who return annually to come support this event. If this was your first time, I think you got your money's worth, right? You came, you heard some beautiful words from our students and from our keynote speaker, and we certainly appreciate you, and we trust that you would join us again next year for the 32nd annual. I hope that the rest of your day is enjoyable. We will have a few moments again after I sit down with Ms. Love for a few minutes. If you would like to ask maybe a couple more questions, we do have a little bit of time, and that'll be outside of this room. So for the rest of the day, happy Dr. King Day to you, and be well. Thank you.